It's Sunday, July 13th, and some of the corn is at least as tall as I am now. It definitely grows fast this time of year. So that's pretty exciting. Technically, this is my week off, but the garden doesn't know that, so things still need to be taken care of. So I just came by here to take a look and see if anything needs to be done. You can see the male reproductive parts are forming, and up here, and some of the female parts too. So we are gonna have viable corn pretty soon, I guess. Looks like anyway, the cornfield is looking nice. Coming inside to see if I can see some pumpkins forming, and immediately I found one there. Kind of walk around and see if we see any others. There's one over there. Pumpkin going. Corn's getting dense enough now that it's hard to walk through. So maybe I won't see it all today. I'm sure there'll be some that I won't catch. So we'll just see. Definitely located. I'm sure there's others. The bees are going at it. I'll try to keep my distance from them. Hopefully they won't bother me. I don't bother them. That's what I tell people anyway. They usually won't. One of these days I'll get stung for that attitude and change my tune, but for today, the bees seem to be leaving me alone. I don't know, like I said, I'm sure there's more, but I definitely see two right now. Lots and lots of bees out today. We're over here on the tomato patch, the raised bed that I have my tomatoes in. Tomatoes and cilantro mostly. The plants themselves are growing great. They're all blooming. And we are starting to get some tomatoes, cherry tomatoes over here, and then over there we have like beefsteak tomatoes growing too. So and another variety over here as well. Still lots of crabgrass. You can see more cherry tomatoes over there, so that's great. Definitely bountiful. I've been going with a slightly different philosophy on the pruning of the tomatoes this year. Instead of picking off all the suckers, I'm just kind of trimming them up at the bottom and letting them grow out. I was watching a video that suggested that might be a better way to go for this type of farming, because I'm not growing them in a greenhouse where, you know, they have these large greenhouses and tomatoes just grow up on support systems, so it's more efficient that way to cut off most of the branches. But in this kind of environment, they're saying now maybe that's not the best thing. So while I don't let them grow wild, I'm not pruning off every little extra leaf anymore like I used to. Over here we have our blueberries. I see one or two that could be picked. For the most part, they're not ready yet. We picked about 2 cups last week though, and we left obviously the ones that weren't ripe yet. So we're over in the other pumpkin patch, and here we have sugar pumpkins growing. I see one there. Just checking around to see if I have others. I'm sure I do. They're pretty dense though, so it's something where you have to kind of really unbury them. We have some corn growing over here. We'll have to sort of artificially fertilize these ones because they didn't grow as dense as in the other patch. That's the way it goes sometimes. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. You can see we got some small pumpkins growing over here as well. And there's another one over there. So at least the pumpkins are doing great, even if the corn is underwhelming. Here we have our potato row. They're doing pretty good. Again, probably could use some weeding, but we've got a horseradish over there, more potatoes, the horseradish. So this area is going okay. We transplanted this rhubarb. I'm actually kind of glad to see this because it was pretty sad when I transplanted it out of the greenhouse. It lived in there, but it needed more space. So I planted it on this mound, so hopefully now it's gonna, now that it's gotten over the shock of moving, it's gonna do better. Over in this bed, we've got cukes going great. Oregano's going out of control. We've got some, what's that, dill. We've got Thai basil, two more cucumbers over here, so they're starting to spread out. We got this massive marigold bush, and oddly, 1 or 2 ears of corn. I'm not exactly sure how that happened. Must have mixed some seeds from last year because I do reuse my seeds. It's kind of a neat experiment. I just let it grow when I thought maybe I'll pull it out, but I just thought it would be neat to grow it there, so we'll see what happens. Here we have sunflowers that are growing. That one's bigger than I am. It's about 6.5 feet tall, and some others around the perimeter. And then we have pumpkins, and I planted some cucumbers in here too. We'll have to move those because they're gonna go up with the pumpkins. But anyway, sunflowers look great. We got pumpkins growing in this one too. Overwhelming this area. Sometimes I just like to see how much I can jam in one small area. They're definitely overtaking this area. But they're growing nice. They seem to love it. Here's another little pumpkin growing in there. So yeah, pumpkins seem to be doing good in here. Got some zinnias mixed in there as well. Let's say my pepper plants are starting to look bigger. They're looking a little bit better. I gave them a little bit extra room. I gave them some extra fertilizer. Kind of loosened up the soil and replanted them. They're doing great. No, I mean, not as good as I would expect at this point, but they're looking healthy. Got more peppermint growing out of control. This could all be picked again. We did pick some a few days ago, but it just keeps on coming. So we have peppermint tea till the end of our days. In this box, we have kind of a hodgepodge. We have some very beautiful zinnias and some tomatoes and another sugar pumpkin. Let's see if I can zoom out on that. There we go. And over here we have some nice leafy greens and another sugar pumpkin. I don't see anything growing on this one yet. It's in a very small area, but so we'll see how that goes. Overall, everything's looking pretty healthy though, so it's looking great.